Car rental, they will be selling vehicles through Amazon.
Yeah, Hertz is going to be on Amazon, specifically Amazon Autos, which, if you're not familiar with that, is Amazon's online auto marketplace. Hertz for many, many years.
Imagine you're scrolling through Amazon for a new pair of headphones, but as you swipe past the deals of the day, you see something that shouldn't be there. A 2024 Mercedes SUV listed for less than the price of a used Honda Civic. Your first thought is that it has to be a glitch, a decimal point in the wrong place, or a sophisticated scam designed to harvest your credit card info. But as you look closer, you realize it's real. It's not just one car, it's thousands. And they aren't being sold by some shady third-party vendor. They're being sold by Hertz directly through Amazon's new automotive marketplace. What you're looking at isn't a mistake. It's the first visible crack in a century-old industry that is currently imploding right in front of us. The automotive retail world is facing a total meltdown, and the casualties are piling up faster than cars in a Hertz parking lot. This is the story of how a rental giant's desperate attempt to stay afloat collided with Amazon's plan for total market dominance, creating a shockwave that's making the 2008 financial crisis look like a minor hiccup. The nightmare began with a bet that was supposed to secure the future of travel. Back in 2021, Hertz made a move that set the stock market on fire. They announced they were going all in on electric vehicles, placing a massive order for 100,000 Teslas. At the time, it looked like a masterstroke. The stock price soared, executives took home massive bonuses, and the world cheered as Hertz positioned itself as the green leader of the rental world. But behind the scenes, they were playing a high-stakes game of Russian roulette with a fully loaded chamber. They bought those Teslas at the height of the market, paying premium prices of $55,000 or more per unit. Fast forward to now, and the reality is devastating. Those same cars are being liquidated for as little as $18,000. We're talking about vehicles that are barely 2 years old, losing more than half their value in a time frame that defies every law of automotive depreciation. But the price tag was only the beginning of the bloodbath. Hertz soon discovered a terrifying secret about renting out high-tech EVs. People drive them like they're stolen, and when they break, they are impossibly expensive to fix. Repair costs for the electric fleet were nearly double what they were for gas-powered cars. When you combine those astronomical repair bills with a resale value that was cratering by the week, you get a corporate death spiral. Hertz found themselves sitting on a fleet worth billions of dollars less than what they owed. They were drowning in depreciating steel, and they needed a way out, fast. They needed a platform with enough reach to dump tens of thousands of cars without crashing the local dealership markets. They needed a predator that could move inventory at the speed of light. They needed Amazon. While Hertz was panicking, Amazon was waiting. They hadn't just decided to sell cars on a whim. They'd been studying the automotive retail market for years, watching traditional dealers struggle with massive overhead, pushy sales tactics, and inefficient distribution. When Hertz started their fire sale, Amazon saw the perfect opportunity to strike. They launched Amazon Autos not just as a new category, but as a Trojan horse designed to dismantle the dealership model from the inside out. They aren't just selling you a car, they are collecting data on every buyer, every preference, and every financing decision. To Amazon, the car itself is almost irrelevant. They don't care about the profit margin on a 2023 Nissan Altima. They want to know your credit score, your driving habits, and your home address so they can integrate your vehicle into the Prime ecosystem. They want to become the Netflix of transportation, where owning a car becomes a subscription service rather than a dream. The disruption is already hitting the streets, and it's brutal. Traditional dealerships, some of which have been staples in their communities for 3 generations, are waking up to find they are competing against an algorithm that doesn't need to make a profit to win. Imagine a family-owned Ford dealership that survived the Great Depression and the oil crises of the 70s, only to be wiped out because a customer walked in with an Amazon printout showing a 30% lower price for a vehicle delivered directly to their driveway. The numbers are staggering. In the last year alone, thousands of traditional dealerships have permanently closed their doors. These aren't just buildings. They are community anchors that sponsored Little League teams and provided high-paying jobs for people without college degrees. Now, those lots are sitting empty, For lease signs reflecting off the windows where shiny new trucks used to stand. But the human cost goes even deeper than lost jobs. If you bought a car in the last 2 years, you are likely standing in the middle of a financial minefield. Because of the massive influx of liquidated rental cars and Amazon's aggressive pricing, used car values across the board have been slaughtered. A luxury BMW X5 that should be worth $60,000 is now being sold on liquidation lots for $38,000. This might sound like a win for buyers, but for the millions of people who already own these cars, it's a catastrophe. People are finding themselves underwater on their loans, owing $50,000 on a car that the market now says is only worth $30,000. This isn't just a loss on paper, it's a debt trap that's preventing families from selling their homes or moving for better jobs. The banks are starting to panic too. They're realizing that the collateral they held, the cars, are depreciating faster than the loans can be paid back. Some lenders are now requiring massive down payments of 30% or 40% just to protect themselves from the market's freefall. The shift toward a subscription-based future is the final nail in the coffin. Amazon is already testing models where you don't buy a car at all. For a monthly fee, you get access to a fleet of vehicles. Need an SUV for a mountain trip? Click a button. Need a small EV for city commuting? It's in your driveway by morning. While it sounds like the ultimate convenience, it represents the total loss of one of the last great American assets, the car. We're moving toward a world where we own nothing and subscribe to everything. Your car will be another prime benefit, but the moment you stop paying that monthly fee, your mobility disappears. And because these vehicles will be fully integrated with Alexa and Amazon's data centers, the company will know everywhere you go, how fast you drive, and even what music you listen to while you're stuck in traffic. For those brave enough to dive into this chaos and look for a deal, the risks are just as high as the potential rewards. Yes, you can find a Mercedes for the price of a Toyota, but you have to remember who owned that car before you. These are ex-rentals. They've been through more hands than a casino poker chip, and many of those hands belong to people who treated the sports button like a challenge. These cars have been driven hard, idled for thousands of hours, and maintained with the bare minimum required to keep them on the road. Some buyers are reporting phantom issues, electrical glitches or transmission stutters that don't show up on a standard 100-point inspection but cost thousands to fix 6 months down the line. The deals are often just a way to offload a ticking time bomb onto an unsuspecting consumer. The speed of this transformation is what's truly terrifying. We aren't talking about a slow, decade-long transition. We are seeing the complete rewrite of the automotive industry in less than 24 months. The Add to Cart button has replaced the Let me talk to my manager handshake. The local mechanic is being replaced by mobile service vans dispatched by an app. And the dream of car ownership is being replaced by the reality of digital surveillance and permanent debt. We are standing at the edge of an automotive apocalypse, and as the dust settles, the only thing left standing will be the companies that were fast enough to adapt and ruthless enough to exploit the wreckage. So, before you click that Buy Now button on a discounted SUV or sign a new 72-month loan, take a long look at the empty car lots in your town. They aren't just a sign of a bad economy. They're a sign of a changing world. A world where convenience comes at the cost of community, and where a bargain might be the most expensive mistake you ever make. The industry is being exposed, the dealers are being wiped out, and the power has shifted to the giants in the cloud. The question isn't whether you should buy a car in this market. It's whether you're prepared for what happens when the car you bought becomes just another piece of data in someone else's empire. As we move into 2026, the traditional car buying experience will likely be a memory. You won't walk onto a lot and smell that new car scent while a salesman offers you a coffee. You'll put on a VR headset, walk through a digital showroom powered by Amazon Web Services, and have a vehicle dropped off by an automated hauler. It will be efficient, it will be transparent, and it will be cold. The era of the neighborhood dealer is over, and the era of the algorithm auto has begun. In this new reality, the only way to win is to stay informed, stay skeptical, and never assume that a low price doesn't come with a hidden cost. The automotive industry didn't just break, it was dismantled. And as we watch the final few dealerships board up their windows, We have to wonder what else is next on the add to cart list, because once Amazon proves they can swallow a $100 billion industry and digest it in 2 years, nothing else is safe. The car was just the beginning. The road ahead is paved with data driven by AI and owned by a company that knows you better than you know yourself.